Good morning. I'm on my way to pick up Joe for my third Carpool With Me in the series. So let's go get him, see how he's doing this morning. Okay, good morning, Joe.
Morning.
Thanks for doing my third Carpool With Me.
Absolutely. Appreciate the ride.
A little chilly today. Are you nice and warm, or you need a seat heater?
I'm feeling good, yeah.
You're good?
All
Okay,
set.
cool. We're gonna get going. So, Joe, tell me your background and why you came to MENV.
Yeah, so I graduated from Miami of Ohio in 2018 with a BA in zoology. Didn't really do too much with it career-wise after that. And kind of came into undergrad potentially thinking do pre-med or pre-vet. Decided that wasn't for me, but liked my major enough to stick with it. And then after school, just wound up getting the first good job offer I could, which was a logistics brokerage in Chicago. So that brought me up to Chicago. Was there for 6 months or so until I transitioned into a different logistics company, more of a software startup. And I've been there since. I'm still there. Moved out to Colorado in 2022 just because my office was fully remote at that point because of COVID. And after several years at this company, I kind of wanted to change up what I was doing and kind of get a career path that was a bit more aligned with my passions and interests. And I kind of just stumbled across MENV, I think through Instagram ads or maybe online ads. Somehow the system knew I was looking for a career change and potentially grad school. So yeah.
That's great to hear. Our marketing works.
Definitely works, yeah.
That's good to hear. So you work part-time then while you're in the program. What is that like for you?
Yeah, so I was full-time up until right before the semester started, and now I'm part-time. My work's very flexible with me, which is nice. I work 24 hours a week now, and that's sort of based on my class schedule. So
that's kind of a lot, though.
It is a little bit. I make it work, though.
Okay.
And there's definitely weeks where I don't fully hit the 24. But
okay.
No one there's really keeping too much track as long as
they're flexible with you.
As long as I'm getting my stuff done.
That's great.
So I don't work Mondays because I've got 2 classes today, and then Tuesday through Friday, it's just I basically log 6 hours at when I can. Typically that's in the morning. All my classes are in early to mid-afternoon.
Okay, nice. And so what specialization are you in and why?
I'm a primary spec in SOI, sustainability in the outdoor industry. That just kind of, when I was applying, seemed like the one that piqued my interest the most. It seemed like it would be the most intriguing from a study standpoint. But I have a secondary spec in ENRP. After talking with some people in the program and doing my own research, it seems like a lot of the actual change that happens, that needs to happen for preventing climate change and keeping the world sustainable is at a policy level. And so I thought that would be a good field to study as well.
That makes sense. So have you decided on a class or a professor that you would say is your favorite or that you would recommend?
I would say my favorite class is Scientific Basis of Environmental Change with Megan McCarroll. I like that one just because it's been 6 years since I was in an academic environment, and it's nice to sort of get a refresher of just the scientific basis.
Yeah.
And I like it that it's the most like what I experienced in undergrad. So I like the weekly sort of curriculum and the weekly quizzes. I feel like tangibly that's been the class with the most information. I'd say my favorite professor would probably be Paul Dreyer, which is my intro to the outdoor recreation economy class, one of the SOI requirements. I really like that class as well. It's definitely more discussion based and kind of open forum. But Paul's really awesome, and he's very, very accommodating of everybody and very welcoming.
Nice. I've
And
never
pretty
taken
funny.
a class with him, so I guess I'm missing out.
Yeah,
But
he's great.
Megan is amazing, and I've taken 2 classes with her.
She's great as well. I love all my classes and all my professors, but those two stand out for kind of different reasons.
Yeah, it's hard not to in MENV.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, tell me a little bit more about what you like to do in Boulder.
Well, I'm big into snowboarding. It has not really, season's not quite open yet, although it looks like we're getting there with this weather. So I'm very eager for that to start up. That was one of the reasons I moved to Colorado in general. It's just with my work flexibility. I wanted to be closer to the mountains. But also it's just very pretty. So I do a lot of just walking around town. I live close to North Boulder Park, so my roommate and a couple other friends and I were there this weekend, just kind of throwing the football around and hanging out, enjoying the weather while it was still warm and sunny.
Lots of public parks here in Boulder, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
And then just kind of strolling the neighborhoods. There's lots of, plenty of good food and drink scenes on Pearl and around there. So.
Ooh, good question. Okay, what's your favorite go-to restaurant?
I've been getting Snarf Burger like way more than I should. So, yeah.
What do you get there?
My guilty pleasure.
Classic burger?
I change it up every time.
Oh.
I think I've gotten like a different burger each time I've gone. So I think I've had one of each on the menu so far. Yeah.
Okay, so you're not a creature of habit.
No, definitely not.
That's interesting. Okay, so where are you from originally? You went to Miami of Ohio. Are you from Ohio?
No, I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. So that's probably like a little more than 2-hour drive from Miami of Ohio. That's just north. Miami of Ohio is just north of Cincinnati, but was born in Milwaukee and then moved to Louisville when I was about 4, and had lived there pretty much ever since until school.
And okay, so you've lived in 4 different places. Sounds like.
Yeah. Well, maybe I guess 5 if you count school. So yeah, Milwaukee, Louisville for like all of my growing up. Oxford, Ohio, which is where Miami of Ohio is, undergrad, and then to Chicago, and then to Denver, and then now Boulder. So I guess 6.
Okay. And so when you decided to move up to Boulder, was that solely based on going to school here, or did you consider staying in Denver as well?
Yeah, it was solely based on school. Considered Denver, sticking around in Denver and commuting, but after looking at some apartments up here and dealing with the drive and the traffic back on 36, I was like, I don't want to have to do an hour plus in the car each day of the week, just for the sake of sticking in Denver.
Yeah.
So,
A lot of people do it. I find that it's harder to be involved in school activities and, hang out on the weekends, but it's definitely doable. Thankfully, our campus is in South Boulder, which is a little bit closer.
Right. And I'm definitely satisfied with the decision to relocate to Boulder.
Do you think that you want to stay here after? What is after the program look like for you, if you have an idea of it yet?
Yeah, I don't have too much of like a defined sense of it. Definitely want to stick around in Colorado, at least for a few more years after school. I think long term, I wouldn't mind ending up in the Midwest again, especially as my parents get a little older. They're in the Detroit area now, so that's kind of like a second home for me, I guess, outside of Louisville. But Colorado definitely for the indefinite future. I don't have any plans to immediately leave. It's hard to give this up.
All right, this is a question for everyone who watches this and you. Is Colorado the West or the Midwest?
Oh, Colorado's for sure the West, the Mountain West. I feel like the Midwest ends with like Missouri, and then like once you're past Missouri and you're into Kansas, that's like Great Plains territory. I'd consider Iowa like fringe Midwest.
Okay, well there we have it.
Kind of getting into.
There we have it. I'll take your word for it as a Midwesterner.
Yeah, the bigger debate I feel like a lot of the times was is Louisville, Kentucky, the Midwest. It's kind of Midwest
is it the
vibes,
South?
but it's also the South. But it's like not the South. So
I think it's the South.
yeah.
Kentucky, in my mind, is the South. I was born in Nashville, Tennessee, actually.
Okay, cool.
So I'm a Southerner at heart. All right, so tell me, have you been on any cool trips, like field trips for any of your classes?
Yeah, for Natalie Ui's community engagement and the outdoor recreation economy class, we did a field trip pretty recently with Trust for Public Lands. And so I got to go to various parks across Westwood's neighborhood of Denver, and that was awesome. That was a very engaging field trip, kind of out in the field, and I believe his name is Antonio from Trust for Public Lands was awesome and provided a bunch of cool insight about sort of how they planned various initiatives across the Westwoods neighborhood and sort of the reasoning behind why they developed the parks the way they did.
Huh, very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, bonus question as we're pulling up to campus. Your go-to snack between classes?
I would say if I'm on campus, the burritos from SEEC Cafe or C Cafe, I would say, are a go-to. And if I have time to leave campus, because sometimes I'll go home, I got to go with kava. I'm kind of a
Ooh, kava's so good.
soft spot, and I feel good about myself because it's healthy, or supposedly healthy.
Supposedly,
Makes you
relatively.
think
Amazing. All right, well, we have arrived, so thank you so much for doing
Yeah,
this with
thank you. I
me.
appreciate it.
Door-to-door service. You ready to go?
Absolutely.